Peace to the family. 747 24/7, 360 days. Peace to my 1221s. I love you. You love me. Me is we. Of course. Wow. So just checking in with the family. I want to say, hey, what's up? I love y'all. Um, I'm going to talk about a couple things in general during this check-in. Um, the 90-day water fast is coming up. The 90-day water fast is coming up on us. We got a couple weeks until the 90-day water fast. I would say get ready, man. Get yourself situated. Get ready. Let's get ready to rumble. It's Gary B on and popping. On and popping. Um, yeah. So I would say more or less do test runs, test trials of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that way, when February 1st comes, it won't be a shell shock for your situation. All right. So I want to say, yeah, thank you for everybody that supports the movement that makes this something. All right. Thank you for everybody that supports on Facebook. Thank you for everybody that supports on Facebook. Thank you for everybody that supports across the globe. So, I'm gonna start off and say like this: for the people that are following the calendar, it's important for you to follow the calendar and the codex in a way it connects up with the realm of thought and perception of the way we live life. All right. So, um, today so happens to be the 11th of the Gregorian calendar, right? January 11th, yeah. Today is January 11th, so it's 111, literally 111. So all three ones are lined up. So this is literally an alignment, all right? But in the codex today so happens to be 8511, 8511 in the codex, all right? Again, we have 14 months. We have 14 months, 28 days in each month. That's associated with our calendar. Also, it's 392 days in our calendar. So, for those that are observing the calendar, what you'll notice is from I see y'all. How high can you go? I bet you can't go in a circle. That's like a myth. That's like a myth on the swings. Like if you could get it through the whole flip, like zoom. It's like a myth. Nobody ever done it, I think. I don't think nobody ever done it on the swing. If you did it, let me know. Uh anyhow, if you observe in the calendar from last year, what you'll see is this. For all those that observed the calendar from last year, you'll see that more or less the calendar seems like it's winding down. Like last year, we was in the ninth month around this time. This year, we're in the eighth month around this time. So it's like deep because if you see the calendar's winding down and it's winding down to something. So that's something that we need. Sorry for all the wind. We need we need somebody to be a chronologist of the movement. We need somebody to be a chronologist of the movement. That'd be a nice position. Like at least 3 or 4 people to be a chronologist to take control of the calendar. We need somebody to do years and thousands of years, maybe 1,000 years in the codex, so we can have like 1,000 years in advance, so we can measure cycles. That's how they did it. Like back in the day, when they understood certain cycles of things, they just made a graph or a chart to assimilate the thought. So, I'm employing somebody to do that. We need 3 people to take control of the codex, the calendar, and push the calendar. All right. Also, we need people to start learning the language more effectively. Y'all having fun?
Yeah. My jacket fell.
Have you ever did the swing over it like a circle? No. You think it's a myth? You think people can do that? I don't think so. It's never been done before. It's a legend. It's a legendary story. Somebody did it on the swing. Go zoom.
I'm never.
You think I can push you that high? No.
Yes.
What's up, Quante? Peace to you, King. You already know, family. We out here. We out here. We living a dream, man. Um, so back to the codex and back to the calendar and the language and how we need to assimilate this thought, bro. Look, listen. You know, we got like English and any other language that was put upon you. Most of the people that speak English, I'm just giving reference to right now. All right, in America. Look, listen. Pardon me for the wind. Look, we've been given this language. All right, it is a lingua franca of the world in a sense, but but we need to learn other languages. We need to learn to connect with other people, man. And it's a shame because, you know, in general, that's something that we're not really like really wanting to do like that. Whereas though we're wanting to learn more than one language. All right. I tell people this. I said, man, y'all people should be speaking Chinese. You know, we should learn how to speak Chinese in general. We should learn how to speak Arabic. We should learn how to speak Spanish, and we should learn how to speak Hindi or something like that. That's my take. And people might say, well, why learn these languages? Because in general, if you learn those languages, you'll be able to speak to most of the people in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like if you for instance, if you just learn how to speak Chinese in general, you can speak to basically 1/6 of the population. And you say for real, yeah. So that's like how that's on a business perspective. People might think about it like, oh man, just kicking at people like that. No, it's not just about kicking it with people like that. It's about business too. So if you know a person's language, then you can do business with them. So that's just something that I want y'all to understand. That's the premise of all this. Because the more languages you know, the more power you actually have in the world. The more power you actually have in the world. I definitely will be learning soon. I will be traveling the world soon. That's a fact. That's good, Quante. That's what I'm talking about. You know, thank you for supporting the YouTube channel, man. I'm not on Facebook no more. I checked out. I totally plugged out of that mainframe, man. You know, only thing I'm posting is pictures and other videos that I did, but not a live video. You know what I'm saying? But going back to the spell of words, you think about it, they place the spell on us by the way we spell words and the way we conjugate different letters and stuff like that to represent a reality that wasn't given to us. All right. Now, if you begin to learn and observe a different type of codex to program reality, then you understand and interpret reality a whole different way. What am I talking about? What I'm talking about is basically what I'm talking about is basically this, right? Let's say you given the codex. The codex, when you look at these letters, you see this letter, you see what's on my hoodie right now. And when you see that on my hoodie, you like, oh man, what does that mean? But if you affectionately connected with this, you already know what it means. And then not only that, each letter has a geometrical value in life of how you travel in the course of just pursuing happiness. All right, each letter. So each letter is also associated with a number too. So you say, well, really? Yeah, so you seeing multi-values in not only the letter and reading it, you seeing the premise on what it represents also. So that's why I'm telling y'all the codex is very important in the realm of what you consider to be learning. in these days and times, because we're in the age of what we call information, right? We're in the age of what we call information. Therefore, everything is new. Everything is new. The things that you thought was the degrees and studies that completed us, it never completed us, because this is growing. It's constantly growing. It has no choice but to grow. All right. So as it's growing within you, and you're becoming the apex of it, or we becoming the apex of it. And that's the hottest thing about um what we live in right now, is the fact that we're becoming an apex of a society that they're going to write about in history. You say, for real? Yeah. The people that are associated with the codex, because you might say, um in general, when you say about Hebrews, right? Anytime you think about Hebrews, all right, or you think about Egyptians and stuff like that, you start thinking about relics of old. You start thinking about people of old, but that reflect within the now. All right, that's almost the same thing of what I'm talking about. All right, but we are the future. We are the future of what is considered to be greatness. We are the future of that. But we are operating in the now. All right, we are literally, my fault. Yeah, but like I was saying, we the future of all this, operating within the now, within the now. So you say, really? Yeah, think about this, right? If I go back to ancient Egypt, and certain things of like far as the Metal Netre, when you see those hieroglyphic letters, they have an affectionate connection to the people, because in that day and time they was going through things, like, let's say, um, if you write an emoji, if I write an emoji, it's like a certain type of style that we live, or a certain type of lingo. You have to be there to know what it's all about truly. And that's what we living in right now. Whereas though you are here, you are actually here to know that more or less what these things mean, or how these things connect. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, family. Yeah, you right here to see where these things connect up, and how this realm of thought connects up with you. You like here. So think about this, right? Like I said, the codex. The codex is a different way to program reality. When you see these things on my hoodie, and you see things like this, you know what, they become something else to you in a certain sort of way, because like I said, you make a divine connection by what you have been through and traveled in your way of life. All right, you know, I have did psychic readings, like psychic readings. All right, and when I do the psychic readings, I don't do psychic readings like literally, um you know, just out of nowhere. I utilize a system. I utilize a system to do these readings. And people say, well, how can you tap into certain things that happen to me, Lamel? How can you tap into this, or how can you tap into that? And I utilize the codex doing it, because literally we live in a mainframe consciousness that you got to understand. When you travel somewhere, like let's say you walk somewhere, or anywhere you go, like let's say anywhere you move, you travel, wherever you go, it's like you actually create a shape. You actually create what is considered to be a geometrical figure by just traveling from point A. My fault, y'all. My fault. That wind is kicking. But I wanted to exemplify what I was talking about. My fault. Look, listen. But from traveling from point A to point B, back to point A, or point A, point B to point C, back to point A, what happens is this. What happens is this. You create a geometrical figure in life in general. You create a geometrical figure. So now when you start to measure these geometrical figures, you will see that they associate themselves with numbers. Why do I say that? Because listen, you got to get the point. The point is this. If I go from one point to 2 points, back to 3 points or whatever like that, guess what happens? I'm moving in the realm of 3. So associating with the number 3, it creates a geometrical figure like a triangle. Like for instance, when y'all see the number 3, a lot of times people don't think of a geometrical shape like a triangle. When you see the number 4, you don't think of a square. This in your mind. Just like so you can remember stuff. Like so you can remember people's phone numbers. Like let's say because you have an infinite capacity of tapping into shapes, pictures, and stuff like that. You literally have an infinite capacity. So think about this. So if you moving in a square, you say, well, damn, that's number 4. So you moving in a pentagram. Okay, that's the number 5. And then you start moving in a hexagram, all right, and so forth. You start moving in different images, right? And these are associated with numbers, all right? So now what you realize is this. That, pardon me, because this wind blowing. What you realize is this, that those numbers are also associated with the places that you travel. So now we discovered that in the codex that literally is people from what you consider to be the other side or whatever, the netherworld or the ether or the spiritual realm. It's people or it's a frequency of thought that's actually oscillating. It's a frequency of thought that's oscillating, that's transmitted. So at the same time, you here on this planet, you don't have a real receiver to receive the message that's oscillating from this realm. You don't have a receiver. So now you have to develop one. That wind really kicked. Now you have to develop a receiver to collect the signal that's oscillating and transmitting throughout the boundless universe. So I tell people this, it's programmed through numbers in a sequence of thought of how you operate. It's programmed through the numbers. So you say, really, Lamel? Yeah, really. Hold up. Yeah, really, it's programmed through numbers. You might say, why is that? I'm just checking on the kids. You might say, well, why is that? Because like atoms are numbers. Think about it. Fractal patterns. I want to talk about fractal patterns too. Fractal patterns. Like that's what atoms and that's what we are. We are atoms of atoms. Like fractal patterns. If you ever see a fractal pattern, it's like a continuous pattern that just flows over and over again. It's almost like a palindrome. All right. They got these like gifts. Like you ever see gifts that are continuous loops? They're a continuous loop, and you be like, damn man, I can just watch this just a continuous loop. All right. They got fractal patterns that they have actually created to show you that reality is really associated this way. Yo, come on, y'all, we gotta go. They got fractal patterns that they actually created, man-made fractal patterns that they showing you literally this is how life is. And this is why I'm telling y'all how you can connect this with the matrix of what we living in today. You might say, how is that, Lamel? Because for instance, right? For every negative, there's a positive, right? For every situation that you go through, right? It's a shadow side to it, right? For everything that you experience in life, it's like it's something that's gas stational. It's something that's gas stational that made it come into fruition. It's something gas stational. So you might say, what do you mean by that, Lamel? I don't understand. What are you talking about? I want you to understand, understand, and solar stand, all that. What I'm talking about is gas stational. Listen, like let's say you think about something, right? Gestation deals with like when you just let it rest and then and it comes to be because you're just not really thinking about it no more. All right. Sometimes, and a lot of times, when you're going through some stuff, when you think about it and when you put things in perspective, you got to stop thinking about it so it can flow, it can grow. That's what it's all about. That's gestation. All right. So what I'm saying is, in a realm of reality, it connects with that thought also, because light actually equals weight. Because when you observe something in a space and time or the realm of thought of what you live in, you actually put weight on it. You actually put weight on it. You say, for real? Yeah, because light is energy, and energy becomes mass, and mass is actually volume or weight. So you say, really? Yeah. So you actually put weight on something. You actually put a gravitational force upon it by observing it alone. Hopefully you got that, because it is proven that if you, let's say, the more speed you travel, let's say a fan that's moving, or the more speed you travel. Shout out to Sister Brittany. What's up, Queen? It's proven the more speed you travel, the more you start to generate energy, right? The more you move, the more you start to generate energy. So now energy is actually weight. It's actually can be converted into what is weight. All right? Because when they say E equals MC squared, they talk about the mass. They talk about the energy. All right, being converted into mass. So I want you to look at it like that, in a perspective of thought of what you look of how you living. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. I really appreciate that. Wait till the 90-day water fast. Run for your life. Run for your life. Ah! Look, check this. When we start the 90-day water fast, February 1st, y'all gonna be looking beautiful. We all gonna be looking glowing. We gonna be glowing like crazy. We gonna be all feeling good, ready to kick butt every day, ready to kick butt. I'm dead serious. Ain't nothing gonna be in your path. Ain't nothing gonna be in your path really to obstruct you in what you focus on doing. Ain't nothing. I mean that. For real. And the water is gonna connect us all. You know, we're gonna have I'm gonna be on it too. Look, we're gonna have certain prayer sessions and stuff like that. Whereas though in certain chanting sessions, I'm gonna go live and we're gonna do certain chanting sessions and stuff like that. You might say, well, why are we gonna do that, LaMail? Because now we trucking. Because y'all all are revved up, because water is vibratory. Water is vibratory. It's so vibratory. People don't understand that you actually walking in water right now. You like what we walking in is really water. Even though you look at it as air, but in a certain sort of way, and factually, it's the water that you swim in, but you actually swimming in it. And then also in the realm of thought, I'm gonna say this: the realm of thought is also like water. Come out here, it's windy. I know, I already know. Shout out to Harlem. We in the building. We on 125th right now. You already know what it's in for. But yeah, you know, gestation. Going back to gestation, you know, you really gotta let things flow. You gotta let things flow. You think about it, you put it in perspective, and then you just let it go because you trust something. You gotta trust. You gotta trust reality for what it represents. You got to be able to trust the ancestors, to trust what's in you to bring forth greatness. You got to be able to trust that. All right? For real. I mean that. Can you hold this? Does somebody hold this for me? Thank you. stimulus message. Tapping into the trust. It's 10:31. All wow. It's funny when I always look at the clock certain ways. That's why I talked about trust again. Um, Look, listen. I'm telling y'all, certain things, certain things in reference to trust. When it comes to the universe, you got to be able to trust and move with the mainframe and let it move through you. You know, just like how I unraveled and unfolded those numbers, right? And I said, man, damn, it's 10:31 right now. Just looking at it, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing when you going through life. I tell people that the ancestors are communicating on the other side. And the only way they can communicate is with these numbers, but you got to be able to pick up the frequency and transmit the thought. Real talk. Um, that's the same thing when you see the time ratio. When you see on your timeline, you be like, man, it's 11:11, or it's such and such time, or that's that time. Or you go in a certain place and then you see your birthday appear and you be like, wow, man, how did this happen? Or why my birthday, why is my favorite number keep on appearing here? Blah, 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 blah. Back again. Like I said, you know, um, we're gods, we goddesses, kings, queens, emperors, and empresses. We're messiahs. In essence, I said with the Walu, as in divine manifestation, but as in having a spiritual experience, having a human experience in some sort of way, but a limited experience, rather, should I say, on this realm. You know what I'm saying? It's something greater. Something greater. That this is not it. That it's something greater, it's something out there, but it's so many things that's limiting your situation for you to connect with that. And I'm doing my best to give you a translation of that, or how to connect with that thought. All right, and a way to translate it. He said, what does 717 mean? 717 actually means the realm of ascension. A 717 actually can be converted to a 171. That means a person that is in the realm of ascension. All right, 7, like when you see 717, what up, Meta World Peace in the building. What's up, King? I see you. Look, when you see 717, this is a number representing ascension, because 7 represents mujahid, right? It represents like the spiritual warrior. Look at it in your book, right? And you'll find it's a degree called mujahid, right? And when you read mujahid, you'll understand, or when you experience mujahid, rather, you'll see that it represents a spiritual warrior, like the test that you go through. Now, 7, you being on your 7. See, this is what happened with the Messiah when he came to the number 7. See, the way that the elders taught the Messiah was through numbers, was through a preparation of initiation through numbers. So when the Messiah came to the number 7, he was taught something. He was taught many things at the number 7. But I'm gonna tell you, one of the things that he learned. All right, because I'm gonna bring you from 5. No, from 5. All right, no, bro. I'm gonna bring you. Man, I gotta start from 1 and then I'll go to 7, because you put 1 in the number. All right. So 1 was Harukman. He learned that. All right. He learned that you have to let God move in you. You have to. God has to. The universe has to track your heart in order for you to be relevant, or it to be relevant in you. It has to be a certain realm of attraction. It can't be forced upon you. All right. Then the second one was that he got, which was wisdom after Harukman, which is number 2, and which was learning the lessons of self, learning knowledge of self. All right. And then that became the understanding. All right. And that understanding wasn't really understanding. It was contemplation. All right. It was contemplation. So that's what the Messiah learned at number 3. It was contemplation, because that's when he got on one knee. He really wasn't The Messiah wasn't. The Messiah came standing up. You got to think about it. The Messiah came standing up. That's why it starts at Harukment, and then it deals with movement, and then Harukment goes to self, which is the number 2, which is wisdom, and then it goes to number 3, which is understanding. But understanding is really understanding and not overstanding, because it's contemplation. It's contemplation. So now the Messiah, he went to the number 4. He played a trick at the number 4 because he learned some shit. And what happened was he flipped the number 4 and turned it to a number 5. He played the trick. He learned that it was a game, whereas though, as far as with the understanding and the wisdom of how he could trick the system or learn the system. So he learned that at the number 4, because at the number 4 represented the throne, and the throne could represent the throne you put people on, or the throne that you take and usurp yourself. So that's what happened for the Messiah at number 4, what he realized. And then
My goodness.
and then
Thank you.
yes, you're welcome.
Have a great day.
Yeah, God bless. And then what he realized is that's when he went to the number 5. All right. And then the number 5 is actually when he gained power. All right. So power was in essence, he didn't know what to do with power, whether to treat it bad or whatever. He, like the Messiah, because he could have been the Messiah, the good Messiah or the bad Messiah. That's what power. That baby's going crazy. That's what power did. Power made the Messiah do many things. All right, he could have been a good Messiah or a bad Messiah. Because remember, I told you, this is the path of the Messiah. Now, the Messiah could be good or bad, depends on which Messiah you're talking about. All right, but they all went through the same test. So now you got, when he went to the number 5, he realized he had power. And one thing about power is the gift and the curse. That's the number 6. That became the number 6. That's when the Messiah came to the number 6. All right, which became the gift and the curse, Fatu. All right, the number 6. So now we like, yeah, in essence to what it represents, we get to the number 7. So when he got to the number 6, as realizing that power was the gift and the curse, he got to the number 7 is when he went to God. He went to God. Now he was looking for God but couldn't find God. Right? He was looking for God but couldn't find God. So he came to the mirror. Come on. He came to the mirror. Which was number 7, because he went and prayed to God, which when he went on his 7. That's when you go on 2 feet and 2 knees, you got 2 hands and then your head. That's when you go on your 7. That's when he was looking for God, but he couldn't find it. So he had to go to the number 8, and the number 8 represented the mirror. All right, which is the 2 eyes. That's why you have an 8 that look like that. It's gonna cut off, y'all. You already know. But shout out to everybody that supports the movement. 747